Hello everybody, and welcome back to version 3 of my 2018 mock draft series. So since the last time I've done a mock draft, we've obviously had the combine and free agency. So there should be a couple picks changed, and of course the pick order changed with some trades being made in the process. But without further ado, let's get started with pick number 1. At number 1, the Cleveland Browns will take Sam Darnold. I'm still sticking with this one. The Browns picked up some solid offensive players in Tyrod Taylor, Jarvis Landry, and Carlos Hyde, which makes it more likely that they will choose a QB that could benefit from some development time rather than starting immediately. Darnold is not the most pro-ready player in this QB class, but he has one of the highest ceilings. While some may still want them to pick Saquon here, the Browns really need to find that franchise quarterback, and potentially missing by waiting until 4 is really not an option. That's why Darnold is still the favorite for the number 1 pick right now. At number 2 overall, the New York Giants take Saquon Barkley. Again, I think it is a distinct possibility that the Giants take a quarterback like Josh Rosen with this pick, or trade it back to someone like the Buffalo Bills. However, I think if they keep this pick, they need to address the running back situation. They were able to pick up longtime Panther Jonathan Stewart, but he is aging, and could be far more useful if he was paired with possibly the best running back prospect to come along since Adrian Peterson. Still, luckily for Giants fans, the team finally admitted their draft mistake in Eric Flowers by signing left tackle Nate Solder. At number 3, the New York Jets take Josh Rosen. While I really like Teddy Bridgewater and will root for him to play well, I think it would be a mistake for the Jets to think the position is safe. The team also re-signed Josh McCown. Josh Rosen is probably the best pro-ready prospect in this draft and will provide the team with excitement while competing with Bridgewater and McCown for the starting role. For the Jets, this is just a smart move. Both Bridgewater and McCown are on one-year deals, making them incredibly short-term liabilities. Plus, if Rosen or Bridgewater plays well and takes over the starting role, the Jets would have found their guy with relatively little risk. At number 4 overall, the Cleveland Browns take Denzel Ward. While the Browns have picked up 3 corners in Demarius Randall, TJ Carey, and Terrence Mitchell, they are still missing that true number 1 corner after trading away their best guy in Jason McCourty. I still really like Minkah Fitzpatrick, but I look at Randall as potentially doing a lot of similar things for Cleveland's defense. This is why they should take the best corner on the board instead of risking Minkah at outside corner. Denzel Ward is still a great prospect, and the Browns will be addressing both sides of the ball with their first 2 picks. At pick number 5, the Denver Broncos take Josh Allen. I think the Broncos are still fascinated with the idea of Baker Mayfield, but do not think they take him here. The Case Keenum signing seems to signal that they are willing to let someone develop before throwing them into the starting role. Allen has all the physical tools, but could benefit as much as anyone from studying under a consummate professional like Keenum. Hopefully, this allows Elway to finally find a long-term solution at quarterback while having someone good enough to compete now. At number 6, the Indianapolis Colts take Bradley Chubb. This is a masterstroke of draft trades by the Colts. The Jets moved up 3 spots to number 3 while sending the number 6 overall pick, 2 second-round choices this year, the number 37 overall pick and the number 49 overall pick, and their second-rounder in 2019 to the Colts. So, basically, they trade back with New York and still end up with the best edge rusher in the class. Plus, they can now fill other needs early in the second round. Bradley Chubb is easily a top 5 talent in my book, but the Colts benefit by the run on quarterbacks. Sure, they will miss out on Saquon Barkley, but hopefully they can finally get Andrew Luck back. At number 7 overall, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take Minkah Fitzpatrick. While I still think the Buccaneers could pick Quenton Nelson to upgrade their offensive line, one lucky break allows a versatile top 5 prospect to fall to them at 7. Fitzpatrick can play any role in the secondary and could easily be a Swiss Army knife in that Bucs defense. He's the type of prospect that can step in day 1 and become a leader in the locker room, and that is incredibly valuable as well. At pick number 8, the Chicago Bears take Quenton Nelson. The Bears may have found their franchise quarterback, and now it's important they work to adequately protect him. They finally picked up a solid wide receiver in Allen Robinson, but with Josh Sitton departing, guard becomes a definite need. Quenton Nelson is easily the best offensive lineman prospect in this draft, and can become a plug-and-play guy on day 1 for Chicago. At pick number 9, the San Francisco 49ers take Derwin James. The 49ers picked up Richard Sherman, and while he may not be as dominant as he once was, it was still a big move. So why not go about creating your own Legion of Boom in San Francisco by picking up an uber-athletic guy in Derwin James to pair with Sherman, Witherspoon, and Jimmy Ward. This seems like a smart move on the 49ers' part, especially since this opens them up to add more pieces in later rounds. At pick number 10, the Oakland Raiders take Roquan Smith. While I have heard that there were medical concerns with Roquan after the combine, they do not appear to be serious enough to affect his draft stock. Smith is still the best linebacker in this draft, and the Raiders should be aware of this by now. If you pair him in a young defense with Khalil Mack, then add a corner later on in the draft, you could really see the defense starting to come together under new coach John Gruden. At pick number 11, the Miami Dolphins take Tremaine Edmunds. I still do not see the point of taking a quarterback here for the Dolphins. Sure, I'm not a huge fan of Ryan Tannehill, but Miami has many more holes to fill before taking a risk on the quote-unquote 4th best quarterback in the draft. I think picking up a young, versatile linebacker like Edmunds to pair with Raekwon McMillan is a smart move and will go a long way to making the Dolphins' defense more competitive. At pick number 12, the Buffalo Bills take Baker Mayfield. The Bills clearly want a quarterback. Sure, they were able to pick up AJ McCarron, but he is still someone who has yet to prove anything in his time in the league. This is why it'd be smart for Buffalo to go after a hungry guy like Baker Mayfield, who is willing to win at all costs and could bring some much needed excitement to the Bills. Plus, having a competitive quarterback battle is never a bad thing. I still think it is likely that the Bills attempt to trade with the Giants to move up and take the second quarterback on the board, but I will not predict trades here. At pick number 13, Washington takes Vita Vea. Washington now has Alex Smith and luckily re-signed Zach Brown. They still desperately need help on that defensive line, and pairing Jonathan Allen with Vita Vea is a scary proposition. Vita Vea seems like a safe bet to be a solid player, which allows the team to fill other needs like corner later on. At pick number 14, the Green Bay Packers take Marcus Davenport. Another pick I'm sticking with here is Davenport to the Green Bay Packers. I have mentioned in the past that some have compared him to Jason Taylor, and while I think it's crazy to compare a non-top 5 prospect to a Hall of Famer, it does show just how high his ceiling could be. That's why I think Davenport will still be the pick here for Green Bay. At pick number 15, the Arizona Cardinals take Connor Williams. Sure, Arizona has not had a flashy free agency, but they did fill some needs by picking up Sam Bradford, Mike Glennon, Andre Smith, and Justin Pugh. Still, they could use some help at quarterback and on their offensive line. With no first-round quality quarterbacks left, they are left taking the best tackle on the board. Some may argue that McGlinchey is better, but Williams seems like the clear number 1 to me based on his tape over the past 2 years. Hopefully, protecting Bradford will stop him from being injured again. At pick number 16, the Baltimore Ravens take Calvin Ridley. Yes, the Ravens have addressed the receiver struggles by signing Michael Crabtree and John Brown, but you cannot afford to miss at this position again if you're Baltimore. Ridley is the best wide receiver in the draft and comes from great coaching at Alabama. I still think it's a match made in heaven for the Ravens. At pick number 17, the Los Angeles Chargers take Mike McGlinchey. The Chargers have not really addressed their need at tackle, so I think McGlinchey will be the pick. The team clearly could use some help on their offensive line, especially with Phillip Rivers going into the twilight of his career. McGlinchey is arguably the best tackle prospect in the draft, and no one has questioned his character or desire to get better. This is why it would be a smart pick for the Chargers at 17. At pick number 18, the Seattle Seahawks take Josh Jackson. After getting rid of Richard Sherman, the Seahawks really need to go about rebuilding that Legion of Boom. Josh Jackson is easily the most Seahawks-esque corner in the top part of the draft and will pair nicely with Shaquille Griffin in the revamped secondary. Some may argue that the Seahawks should go O-line here, and I honestly agree, but I just do not think Pete Carroll cares enough about that part of the team to waste a first-round pick on that position. At pick number 19, the Dallas Cowboys take Ron Payne. I really do not have much to say here, this pick is the same again. Is Dallas in need of a wide receiver? Yes, but unless they want to reach on Courtland Sutton, DJ Moore, or someone else, they should take a D lineman. Make no mistake, Payne is a really solid Alabama lineman prospect, which makes him a worthy pick at 19. At pick number 20, the Detroit Lions take Harold Landry. I also have this pick the same and nothing has changed to make me think it will not be the case. You can never have too many pass rushers, and taking the best one in the draft is a great idea for new head coach Matt Patricia. Landry can easily play defensive end and outside backer, and compare nicely with Ziggy Ansah to make the Lions a lot scarier in the NFC North. At pick number 21, the Cincinnati Bengals take Billy Price. The Bengals are now in possession of the 21st pick, and with it they need to address the offensive line. The team was able to trade for offensive tackle Cordy Glenn, even though it was a legitimate question to ask if he can stay healthy. Still, I think it would be a mistake to reach for the third best tackle prospect and instead look for help at the interior positions of the offensive line. Billy Price is the most versatile interior line prospect in the class, and coming from great coaching at Ohio State, should be an immediate impact player for that Bengals line. At pick number 22, the Buffalo Bills take James Daniels. The Bills already addressed their quarterback situation and now need to address the loss of Eric Wood to a career-ending injury. The team did not target anyone in free agency to fill that role, which leads me to believe they will address it through the draft. James Daniels comes from great pedigree at Iowa and should be able to start in Buffalo on day 1. At pick number 23, the Los Angeles Rams take Rashaan Evans. The Rams did a lot to address weakness at corner by trading for Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib, and interior linemen by picking up John Sullivan. But they no longer have Robert Quinn or Alec Ogletree. Quinn may not be a significant loss, but Ogletree played a big role in that defense, which is why the Rams should pursue a young playmaker at linebacker. Rashaan Evans is an Alabama coach linebacker with championship pedigree. I look at him as someone who can come in and fill Ogletree's shoes on day 1. At pick number 24, the Carolina Panthers take Isaiah Wynn. Andrew Norwell is gone, and the Panthers have done nothing to address their guard situation through free agency, so they address it by taking Georgia lineman Isaiah Wynn. Wynn played left tackle in college, but looks to quickly translate to guard at the NFL level. After looking good at the combine and showing his athleticism, Carolina would be smart to pick him at 24. At pick number 25, the Tennessee Titans take Sam Hubbard. I'm still sticking with Hubbard here. The Titans made some splashy moves by signing Malcolm Butler and Dion Lewis, but still need to address their pass rush. Sam Hubbard may not be the best edge in the draft, but as a versatile Ohio State product, he will definitely help this Tennessee team improve moving forward. At pick number 26, the Atlanta Falcons take Maurice Hurst. I'm probably the least certain on what to do with this pick. Obviously, Maurice Hurst has some type of heart issue that was unclear just how serious it is. On the other hand, the Falcons could really use a defensive lineman to help their defensive struggles. This is why I think the slightly undersized but explosive Hurst would be a great pick here. However, if the Falcons rate it as too much of a risk, I would not be surprised to see them draft Taven Bryan or Harrison Phillips at 26. At pick number 27, the New Orleans Saints take Dallas Goedert. Coby Fleener is clearly not the second coming of Jimmy Graham at tight end, so the Saints should look for competition at the position. After the combine, Mike Gesicki made a case for him to be the #1 guy at tight end, but Dallas Goedert is still my top player at the position. Goedert seems like the type of tight end who could go a long way to improving a deadly Saints offense, possibly helping Breeze win another championship. At pick number 28, the Pittsburgh Steelers take Leighton Vander Esch. I also had this pick last time and stand by it. Pittsburgh could use a big athletic linebacker, and that is exactly what Vander Esch is. One of the more versatile defenders in the class, I think the Steelers will find a way to work him into their rotation, making the team's linebacker core much scarier. At pick number 29, the Jacksonville Jaguars take Malik Jefferson. Some are still calling for Lamar Jackson to be the pick here, but I just do not see it. The team is committed to Bortles for at least one more year. Plus, after doing a decent job to fill holes by signing Andrew Norwell and Dante Moncrief, the team must replace recently retired linebacker Paul Posluszny. Malik Jefferson is a very athletic linebacker and could do well next to Miles Jack and Telvin Smith. Having that many sideline-to-sideline linebackers will make it hard for opposing running backs to break off big outside runs on the Jags defense. At pick number 30, the Minnesota Vikings take Kolton Miller. I had a different offensive tackle going here last time, but after a horrific combine by Orlando Brown, I now have Kolton Miller going to the Vikings. Miller is a well-built and athletic tackle prospect who should fit nicely into Minnesota's system. With Kirk Cousins now firmly entrenched as a starter, the team really should think about the best way to protect him. At pick number 31, the New England Patriots take Darius Geis. I really wanted to project Lamar Jackson going here, just because it seems like something the Patriots would do. I am sure Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick would find some way to use him that would piss everyone off. However, I have no reason to believe that is likely to happen. So instead, I project that the Patriots address the running back need by taking Darius Geis. I had corner here before, but this is less pressing after picking up Jason McCourty. Still, Geis is easily a top 20 running back prospect, but falls all the way to 31 because of the devaluing of the position, making New England beneficiaries of a solid prospect. And finally, at pick number 32, the Philadelphia Eagles take Courtland Sutton. I believe the Eagles should make an effort to add a wide receiver at their first pick, and with Courtland Sutton being the second best receiver in the draft, Philadelphia decides to pick him up. I had them addressing linebacker last time, but after some solid moves, it is less urgent for them to address that position with a first-round pick. I think Sutton may need to develop a little bit to the NFL game, but playing in the Eagles system should help make him and that offense more dangerous. Well, that's version 3.0 of the mock draft, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed, and if you did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time.
I got it. Top fives don't exist in my world like bad sportsmanship. Spank your favorite rapper, have him coming back to ya. Of course I'm sick. Poor sport like bottomless crates, wooden boards below chords in this. God, I'm good. A sinner's go to defense in the afterlife. Ironic, you can see what I'm gifted with, cause I'm rapping, right? My presence, nothing.